before we start, let's go through a little background about Malaysia and also about UTAR. So UTAR has two campuses. The Sabah campus is located in Perak, and also the Sungalang campus is in Tajab, Selangor. And both our campuses are located in Malaysia. Right. So you may know that Malaysia is a country in the Southeast Asia where its citizens live in a multiracial and multi-religion harmony country. Okay, so Malaysia comprises of 13 states and 3 federal territories. Malaysia's capital, Kuala Lumpur, lies in the western part of the peninsula. In Malaysia, we speak Bahasa Melayu, but English is still a common language where we speak among our daily life, among friends, colleagues, and also within the university. Okay, so other common spoken languages are like Mandarin, Tamil, and also other dialects. So this is an infographic about Malaysia. So Malaysian universities are actually well ranked as some of the top world universities, and among them, 35 of the universities are in the top 600 according to QS World University Rankings 2021. Not only that, Malaysia offers affordability in many areas, from food, traveling, transportation, accommodation, and of course, tuition fees. Malaysia is also a leader in tourism, medical, technology, optical equipment, and also agriculture. This sector contributes to Malaysia's thriving economic and are an integrate for the global economy. Education in Malaysia is definitely the tools to provide to kickstart your future. Okay, so the transportation in Malaysia, I believe most of you also know that it's quite convenient, where you can travel around with KTM, MRT, LRT, monorail, and so on. So not forgetting that we are able to connect to the world and to other places out there through the Kuala Lumpur International Airport. And it's very convenient as we are situated in the hearts of the Southeast Asia. All right, so this is another infographic about UTAR. So you can briefly know what UTAR is and where UTAR ranks and so on. UTAR excels in teaching and also research, dedicated to ensure all our graduates have a strong foundation in the field that is relevant to today's world. So that's also why UTAR consistently introduce new programs for our students to stay competitive in the working environment when they graduate. So this enables the students to acquire additional international recognitions by professional bodies. So for example, so like ACCA, and we have also other qualifications under secretarial engineering and other field of study as well. So UTAR is constantly enhancing all the programs, improving the program structures, and working closely with the industry advisor and external examiners from other world-class universities to ensure that our education and our academic are up to standard. Apart from that, UTAR encourages students to take part in extracurricular activities such as community service, student entrepreneurship activities, sports, and also other activities such as character building events. So at UTAR, we strive to nurture students who are able to contribute to the society, industry, and the nation as a competitive professional of high integrity. So as a result, UTAR graduates basically achieve a percentage of around 95% of a graduate employability rate within 9 months after they graduate. So UTAR also collaborates with numerous university partners, industry partners around the world to provide our students an opportunity to experience global exposure through study abroad programs, student exchange program, conferences, tours, and many other events. So these are some of the programs that we are offering in UTAR. So there are a total of 129 programs ranging from foundation, degree, master's, PhD, and also other short courses. Okay, so yeah, so let's go into why and why our youth ambassadors from around the world, like China and also Indonesia. Why did you choose Malaysia as one of your preferred location to study? And for perhaps Iqbal, you may find it in the Malaysian culture is quite similar to the culture in your home country. The languages and everything is quite similar. So, but I'm actually quite curious, how did you actually finally decide to come to Malaysia or finally decide to go with UTAR?
Okay, so I've been living in Malaysia for quite a while now. I've been moving here since I was in primary, and I've completed my SPM, which is the Malaysian High School National Exam. Also, my family are here as well, so I thought about continuing my study in Malaysia. So when during high school, my local Chinese mentioned UTAR when we were discussing about which university that we will go later. So I took it upon myself to search about the UTAR online, and I've come to know about UTAR, what UTAR has to offer. So I looked up universities ranking online, and I found out that UTAR is among the best university in Malaysia. In fact, it even achieved the second best university in Malaysia, just below University Malaya during my studies in UTAR, according to the Times Higher Education ranking. Apart from that, UTAR graduates has a high employability rate. In fact, I just recently got offered a job just right after I finished my study. The program that I wish to study is also recognized by the professional body, which is the BEM and IEM, which means the industry recognizes UTAR graduates. UTAR is a private university, but to my surprise, its fees are very affordable compared to other private universities such as UCSI, Sunway, Monash, and others. Yeah, I think so. Thank you.
So I guess you did a lot of research before you decide and choose UTAR. And also adding on to Iqbal's point on the Board of Engineers Malaysia. So as Malaysia is a part of the signatory under the Washington Accord, so it's also recognized in other signatories that are under the Washington Accord as well. So I guess you have done so much research. And how about you, Raubing? As an international student from China, I believe UTAR may not sound so familiar to you, right? So how did you come to Malaysia and UTAR?
Yes, I didn't know UTAR until just before my university entrance exam in China. After the exam, I start searching the information on both domestic and international university. My high school is a foreign language school, and it has a partnership with major overseas Chinese association. UTAR is highly recommended on major overseas Chinese associations list for its wide range of programs and high standard of teaching qualities. I also have some friends who study in UTAR. They both highly recommend UTAR as my first choice. Throughout all the research, I think UTAR met all my requirements. So that's why I choose UTAR.
So I guess it's really an honor to be listed as one of the recommended Malaysian universities in major. So since Iqbal has been in Sungalau for 4 years, and Baobing is moving on to her second year in Kampa. So how was your student life like studying in UTAR, especially as an international student?
Well, I would say studying in an unfamiliar country is not an easy task. Fortunately, the Department of International Student Service, DISS, helped me a lot. We will email to DISS to know about the newly progressing visa and any other issues. For example, the DISS will try their best to help us get the student visa, accommodation, and they will also help us schedule the most suitable flight day to Malaysia. When I was still in China, I can't use Google service. So the DISS, they are very careful. They teach me how to use VPN for login Weibo and portal.
Okay, so as for me, as I have mentioned that I've been living here in Malaysia for quite a while now, so it's not much need adjustment for me. But there is this one program that DSA has to offer is this peer mentoring program. So this peer mentoring program is it offers a connecting bridge between the seniors and the freshmen who just joined the university. So the seniors will spend about a month in connection with the new freshmen to help them adjusting to the new environment. And they're not limited to international students, but also the locals. And eventually they will continue their relationship as friends after that 1 month period ends.
So yep, it's definitely important to have someone that keeps you in mind at the time where they will help you, assist you regardless of your student visa, your academic, even your personal matters when you're around in Utah. Yeah. So I guess it's really difficult as well because Raobing was doing her online classes since her first semester. Back then, without all this assistance, it would really be difficult for them to start their class as well. Yeah. So apart from the peer mentoring program, there are also many other activities and other bodies or teams that could assist international and local students to adapt to the situation in your university first year of university life. So for international students, we have also newly developed this UTAR Buddies program, where they assist international students from arrival, getting familiar with the facilities and the areas around the campus, showing them how to communicate and how to live like a Malaysian in Malaysia. So yeah, that is also part of the new programs that we are looking into and we are starting off for international students. Okay, so we have also the counseling and guidance unit from the Department of Student Affairs that also take care of your emotional well-being as well, right? So speaking of the Student Affairs Department, I believe both of you have involved yourself in many different activities, clubs and societies. So before the pandemic, so students actually held their activities in campus, off campus, almost like every day, every weekend, and they are really packed with activities. So how about both of you?
Oh yes, most definitely. They held a lot of events and competitions almost every week, if not almost every day, like drone making competitions, Chinese New Year celebrations, and many more. So every club has their own events. Usually before the pandemics, they allowed us to go to the campus physically, and at the beginning of every semester, they will have their booth set up to promote their clubs and events. They will be having fundraising to fund their events like games or selling snacks and foods, etc. Furthermore, I was also an international student representative of the SRC, which is under the Department of Student Affairs. So my task was to help and assist international students and improve their well-being while they are studying in UTAR. The students are encouraged to give feedback of their issues so that we can pass the matters to the management and have a discussion to solve the issues. Moreover, under the DPP, which is the Department of Program Promotion, I was also an international UTAR ambassador. If SRC is to handle the internal affairs like student matters, now this position is more to external parties such as high school students, parents, agents, or teachers. So during open days, we are tasked to serve the guests and provide campus tour to showcase our study environment and facilities. Not only that, I went to international high school in KL on a roadshow to promote UTAR to them while sharing my experiences as an international student in UTAR. We also had visitors from Hong Kong High School, among many others.
UTAR has a lot of activities. Even at the time of pandemic, there was a lot of virtual activities. For example, UTAR will invite other schools, professors, or company leaders to give us a webinar. And we also can conduct virtual online studies with other countries' university. As for myself, I participated in UTAR Ambassadors Program, and it really taught me a lot of things, such as video editing, preparing an exam, problem solving, and communication skills.
Again, I want to add, UTAR also offers this UTAR soft skills development certificates. Now, this USSDC, in short, is under the Department of Soft Skills Competency. Before I can obtain this certificate, there are requirements which I have to achieve. During my time, there are 7 core components that I have to collect points from, which was previously 5. And presently, it is 10 core components. They are improving every term as to equip UTAR students with necessary soft skills for them to get ready for the industry. Employers would definitely choose graduates with soft skills at hand. So I believe that the certificate helps graduates to secure job faster and easier too. I too, of course, had completed the requirements. So the latest 10 core components include the communication and language skills, cognitive skills, complex problem solving, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, moral and professional ethics. Now, this is the important, the leadership skills, also lifelong learning and entrepreneurship skills and digital literacy. You can attend events organized by various departments to obtain the points. The core component points that you obtain will be dependent on the content of the event. For example, last time I attended the practical English, so naturally it would be on the communication and language skills. Also, if you were to become the committee of a club or society, you can get SDC points under the leadership skills.
So it's the same thing for UTAR ambassadors. We focus 2 parts from the 10 components, the leadership and also communication and language. From the UTAR ambassador program, we hope to develop not only to share through sharing, but also to develop leaderships and also many other components of the USSDC. Okay, so I believe it's really fun to be experiencing all the campus life, and seems like some of us here are missing out all the fun because of the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So, well, she has a part of the fun for virtual. It's really a whole new experience compared to the physical activities. But yeah, we have to go through the pandemic period, but we hope everything will be really better next year. Yep. So we have covered much on the core curriculum activities of the students' life. So perhaps we can move to the academic part. So Iqbal is from the Lee Kong Chian Faculty of Engineering and Science, while Rao Bing was previously attached under the Center of Foundation Studies and now under the Faculty of Information and Communication Technology. So are the programs outlined, or your so-called weightage of your programs between coursework versus examinations? Are they really 50-50, or is it like coursework it's more important than examinations, or how does it go about between the different programs or the different faculties?
Yeah, the ratio is mostly about 40% for coursework and 60% for examinations. As for my program, it has theoretical and practical class. But for the other program, they might just have the theoretical class. You also can arrange your timetable freely according to your own situation. For example, if you don't want to go to school at 8 a.m., you can choose to go to school at noon or in the afternoon. UTAR also offer many facilities like the school library, computer lab, campus internet accessibility, and so on. You can study in the library. It has a very good environment.
Yeah, so I want to mention again that the UTAR uses in measuring our grades involve the final exam and coursework. And just now Robin mentioned that it was 40% examinations. 40% courseworks and 60% final examinations. But sometimes it was 50-50, and even sometimes there are no final examinations and full coursework. So this coursework is like assignments, presentations, quizzes, and for me, there are lab assessments as well. Now, the teaching materials were prepared wonderfully by the lecturers by referring to multiple textbooks. They had summarized them into a compact and yet informative lecture notes. So you don't have to read the whole textbooks. But if you want to know more, of course, you are more than welcome to access our UTAR library. Now, I was studying engineering course, and UTAR Sungai Long has 45 science and engineering laboratories which are sufficiently equipped with various tools and equipments such as civil engineering labs, hydraulic labs, chemistry labs, biology lab, and many more. We are taught to handle the equipments and its uses properly during the practical classes so that we would be ready for the industry again. Not only we learn about the mechanical parts, but we also learn to use the design software. Now that the industry will find graduates who are well versed in softwares such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, StatPro. Some of you might not come across this, but some of you will if you're going to take engineering courses.
So I guess all this sums up to why we have a high graduate employability, because the academic, the software, the equipment, facilities, with the soft skills that we provide to students to equip them to be competitive enough. That is why we ask our graduates are welcome in the working environments. Of course, this will also based on your interview and also your competences and so on, right? So I believe if there is any UTARians out there, I believe beating your timetable is another culture of the student life. Every semester you will hear students fighting for internet access, getting the timetable arranged because no one wants to go for the 8 a.m. class, right? Yeah. So that is also another culture and another interesting thing that is happening in UTAR as well. So yeah, there is advantage and also disadvantage if you want to see about the timetable. So most of us may think that it's so troublesome to beat your timetable every semester and then not getting the timetable slots that you want for your subjects. But then it's another way that it's another way that UTAR prepares you for the future, that you will face things like that. When you work, you will not be able to always get what you want and all these things. So yeah, if you see it in a positive way, that is how things goes actually, right? So, but I guess basically overall, you're enjoying your student life in UTAR. So yes, definitely living in another country, especially for well-being, it's definitely challenging, and at the time of pandemic, she has to arrive in Malaysia and so on. So especially, living in a multinational country like Malaysia, even though most of us understand Malay, most of us understand Chinese, but how similar or different is it with the Malaysia culture and your country? Perhaps Robin can share with us.
I think they are quite different. For example, the dinner time in China, we most of us will finish our dinner around 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. But in here, the the people finish their dinner time maybe at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. is usual. That's quite different. Also, although I have been studying at UTAR for more than 1 year, the presentation part is still a bit difficult for me. I need to practice how I can explain my ideas to my tutors and classmates in a few minutes in English. And that's a big challenge for me. As we all know that learning a native language is the fastest way to engage in the area. When I first came to Malaysia, the airport staff just spoke Malay to me, but all I could say just, sorry, I don't understand Malay. And then I decided to learn Malay, but until now, I just knew a few words that I could just order some food in the restaurant. Yeah.
So for me, as I mentioned again before, as I've been living here for so long, so I did not experience any culture shock or homesickness. But this is exclusively in the UTAR, I guess, UTAR environment, but language is a bit of challenge for me during my studies in UTAR. So most of the students here are Chinese, right? And I got a little bit of Chinese looks on me, I guess. So they tend to accidentally speak Mandarin to me. So I'll just have to remind them that I'm not a Chinese. So this language is difference were not only a challenge, but in fact it's an advantage. I got to learn a bit of them. And also the COVID-19 pandemic struck in the final years of my study. And this really was a challenge. Every class was suddenly switched into online classes. And also my internship was work from home. It was depressing, but after a couple of months, I got used to it and find it advantageous. The lectures and tutorials were recorded, therefore I can rewatch the class anytime I want. It makes revisions slightly easier. Yep.
Yep. So I guess mostly we can summarize it as the difference in languages. As you know, in Malaysia, we put all the language, Chinese, Indian, Malay, in one
Yep.
sentence. So yeah, I guess you know, getting familiar with the environment, with the English in Malaysia, it's really a challenge. Even though we are speaking English, but you know, different tones, different tones, different situation. You know, the same word may carry a different meaning, right? So apart from that, so what would you say is your greatest achievement so far?
I think my best achievement is maintain a good GPA in foundation, even though it was study online. I will spend about an hour before my lecture class to see the video or to see the slide and then mark what I didn't understand, then ask the teacher in the class. Also, the group assignment are also the factor that affects GPA very much, about like 20% or 25%. Personally, I would do the group assignment as soon as possible, then spend my time on other things like learning Malay language.
Okay, so for me, the achievements that I was proud of was that I, along with my group members, were the champion of this structural earthquake stability competition. Now, this competition was participated by students from many universities across Malaysia, including Sabah and Sarawak, and also Singapore, namely Nanyang Technology University, Uniten, and many others. I got the chance to represent UTAR in international bridge competition held in UTM, Johor, which were participated by students in Southeast Asian country, but unfortunately we did not win. And apart from that, I just completed my 4 years bachelor's degree in October, and I got offered position in a multinational corporate companies just right after that. So I believe that the USSDC that I collected along my years of study contributed to this.
So I guess you have also taken part in many achievement competitions and so on. So I heard that that's a slide that you would like to share. Is that it now?
Yeah, sure. I will share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the stability earthquake structure competition which I mentioned just now. This was participated by students, local, private, local, and universities. So I was the champion along with my groups, and the champion will be chosen to participate in the international bridge competition. Now, these are the events, the competition that were done during my time, before the pandemic. So in a group, we have to build up a structure using basil woods, and then later, after we were done the structure according to the requirements, they will be tested and put weight on the structure, and then the shaking table will be turned on and shaken as a demonstration of earthquake simulation. And after that, since we are champion, the first runner-up and the second runner-up will be chosen to partake the international bridge competition held in UTM. It's a bridge, unlike this one, is a earthquake tower. So here is the process when we tested the structure with weight concrete, and on the right side here is the simulation for presentation. And also for the club and society, I mentioned before that at the beginning of the semesters, right, the clubs and societies will set up booths to promote their events, and also to do some fundraising by selling snacks or holding mini games like that. Also, during my UTAR ambassador, I also mentioned that there are visitors from Hong Kong High School. So here's a group of, I guess, 30 students from Hong Kong. And when I was a UTAR ambassador, I was tasked to give them a campus tour to showcase our study environment and facilities. Also, during my time as UTAR ambassador, every year, the UTAR ambassador will hold this UTAR leadership camp. And that time, the theme was called international culture. So this is like they have to build a structure that is represented by the country that they are given. Let's say this one is our group was Egypt, and we had to create a structure, and we have to perform. Like, you can dance, you can act, but we did a dancing over here. So in the recent pandemic times, they held these events online just previously.
Yeah. So the previous UTAR leadership camp, which was which were done physically previously in our UTAR Kappa campus, mainly for secondary school students. And this year we had the virtual UTAR Ambassador Leadership Program. It's a half-day program where we invite guests, we invite speakers to speak for these high school students who will be graduating soon. So that is what we have been doing for the last year, all the virtual events, all the virtual activities. And hopefully next year, January, we are able to resume back to normal as we are moving back to physical class after January, after February 14. Our students will be back, and we definitely hope to meet each other very soon right? So I'm really proud of both of you and whatever you have achieved so far. And on behalf of UTAR, congratulations on your achievement and also on your graduation.
Thank you.
So as a UTARian and also a UTAR alumni, is there any advice that you would like to provide to your juniors or those who are coming in really soon?
Okay, so for me, I did attend a lot of events and competitions, held a lot of positions. Even though you had fun with them, but don't forget to focus on your studies, as your CGPA and academics really does matter in looking for jobs as well.
So how about Robbie?
I would say that the university life is very wonderful, but it's also quite short. So step out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself, be a better person.
Thank you for the advice from our UTAR ambassadors. And it's really true that your university life is, I guess, a maximum of 4 to 5 years. And after that, you'll be moving to your working environment. And by then, you will be wishing you go back to studies, right? So enjoy your university life wherever you are, whether you're with UTAR, with other universities. So just take the advice to put in more time, enjoy, and also to broaden your horizons by involving in more activities and exposures as well. Okay, so thank you Iqbal and Robin for your time and also for the insightful sharing. Okay, so perhaps we can now move to the time of Q&A sessions from our participants. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. Our senior here and myself, we will be glad to assist you and answer your questions. Okay, so while you compile your questions and put them in the chat box, perhaps I can show you a little bit about the new programs that UTAR has recently announced. So yeah. Okay, so as you can see here, like I previously shared, that UTAR has it's offering 125 programs, and we are still in the midst of getting the approval for a few more new programs. Okay, so within the year of pandemic, we have also introduced about 45 new programs, and upcoming we'll be having more new programs, such as the Bachelor of Business Administration, Honors Tourism Destination Marketing. And then we have also the postgraduate diploma in data management and analytics. So this program is offered in both our Sungai Long and also Kampar campus, as well as the Master in Data Management and Analytics, as well as both campuses, available in both campuses. Okay, so these are the few new programs that we will be launching in most probably next year, January of next year. Okay, so these are the few new programs. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.